All right. This weekend, I busted out my old game systems. Pretty stoked to start having fun with that. I haven't played this game in a long time. Curious to see if I can remember all of the fun stuff. No, there's more bananas up there. When I was a kid, I didn't realize that that was a person with an army helmet on. I always thought that that was a lady with a wig. Um, what's with the new setup? So I had this setup before, but I had the camera facing the other way, and I realized it was kind of a nuisance because I was like taking up and putting down the curtains all the time, and I don't know why it took me so long to realize I should just do it facing the wall. When I set up my gym before I was streaming, um, I based it up when I set the stream. I based it off of how I was streaming before, the orientation of how I was having my gym set up, and I didn't realize I should probably change it and make better use of my space. I think it's cool because you can do some exercising and play some games during the rests. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like trying to find ways to make it more interesting and fun. All right, switching over to the 35-pound dumbbells. All right. This is my old Super Nintendo. I've had it now for around 30 years. It was the first game system I ever owned. man. That's not what was supposed to happen. I really got to get around to playing more Donkey Kong. This King Barrel. Yeah, man, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was a lot of fun. I remember like when it came out, it was the music was better. There was a lot more. Uh, very. It was very different from Super Mario. It was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. My favorite level is the minecart. I, I probably haven't played this game in at least 20 years. Yeah, I know I blew it. I think there was like a. Oh, I know there's a secret there I missed. My favorite Donkey Kong character. I mean, it's hard. Obviously, Donkey Kong is the main character, but um, I think Dixie is my favorite. That says King Barrel. Yeah, Dixie was cool. I remember as a kid, you definitely pay attention to Candy Kong. It's so weird, but I wonder if they would rename Dixie Kong today. Like, I wonder if there would be pushback on calling anyone Dixie. It's funny. There's a. I don't know if you ever see Dixie Vixie. I had an assumption in my mind, like when I first like saw her name and her talking, that she'd be a girl from the South. What'd you say? I like Dixie because she could twirl her hair to float in the air. Yeah, that was cool. I think she came out. Was it Donkey Kong 3 or 2 where she came out? Because I had that one. I remember playing it. I had a neighbor down the street who stole it a couple of times. We had this like special needs kid who lived down the street that would randomly get into our house and would like just steal stuff, like walk off with video games. I suppose they could give her a name change. It just follows the same format as all the other names. I don't think they need to. I mean, I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying I wonder if they could get like if it would become a problem. All uncommon characters are two-syllable names ending with an IEY sound. Yeah, I don't know the real origin of the word Dixie. So I know, you know, and during the Civil War, like the South would whistle Dixie, and there's Dixieland was the one of the names of the South. But I don't know if that's like a soul like ownership of that. Me neither, but hypocritically, if they really wanted to change the name, they could go with Dolly or Daisy, I guess. Well, if they went with Dolly, it would definitely be along that line of like Dolly Parton. That'd be funny. But I think they could just leave it as Dixie. I mean, that's like saying that all southern states should change their names. Like Virginia and West Virginia, Alabama, Mississippi. You know, because Dixie is just what the South was called. So I don't know if you necessarily have to change it. But I don't, you know, I don't do those games a lot or engage with that. I think there are bigger fish to fry than just trying to pretend everything has always been pure and clean. Oh, come on. I don't know any patience or meaning behind it since it's an American thing. But if she still has the same name all this time, I don't think they'll change it. I don't know. I don't know. And I feel like the wind is slightly changing on all that stuff, anyways. So I was looking at the Olympic medal count, man. Australia is definitely pulling in some medals, man. You guys are doing good. I don't know how many golds you guys have now or your collected medals, but I know you're definitely like, I think you guys are in the top 10, which is really good. So far in the Olympics, the one guy that really impressed me is that Turkish shooter. He's like a 40 or 50-year-old guy, and went out, was taking his shots with like the one hand in his pocket. That guy, that guy can shoot. Not like how all the other shooters have all these head setups and blinders on. And he's just very casually just shooting. It's fun to see. And girl says I heard of that guy. And funny story, the guy he lost to is like his best friend or something apparently. They grew up shooting together, so I think it's kind of wholesome. They took first and second. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. It's fun watching people who respect each other compete. I always wonder, like, for our team, if it's ever hard for our athletes, like say like the gymnasts who are competing against people who, if they lose, are going to be in real trouble at home. Like in America, if they lose, they're just going to come back home and it'll be embarrassing, and no one's going to jail, no one's being punished. Hero says, "I love dynamics or Olympic stories. Like, did you see the Saint Lucia woman who got their country's first ever medal? It was gold in the 100 meter, I think. I didn't see that. That's cool. I'll have to look that up. I'm with you. I mean, that's one of the nice things about the Olympics is it is really cool when you see the underdogs like pull through, and the people that like you say, get their first national medal and like they do amazing and show everyone up. In America, we love underdog stories. Do you guys have um, like quick draw contests in Australia? Like where people go out with old 6 shooters and old revolvers and do like quick draws like from cowboy movies? We have them here, and there's this old guy. If you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and look up quick draws. He is so amazingly fast with his gun. Like it's ridiculous how quick this guy can shoot, and not just fast but accurate. It's scary. No, guns aren't super big here. Like they are used, but we have laws around gun licenses. Yeah, I know you guys got higher gun laws than us, but even like as a sport, it's still a no go. Cause like here, you're not allowed to own like automatic like guns, but if you have a collector's license, there's ways that you can own like an automatic like machine gun, but it's like it's a very long process. Like the reasons don't have to be crazy, but it has to be for hunting, for sport, or something. Yeah. No, I know you guys have like tight laws. Man, I screwed that up again. I think there's cave down there. I need that barrel for. Oh, I think it's right there. It's actually right in that barrel. Dang it. Do that again. I don't know why there's like some holes I just seem to fall into. Doing first ever medals, nothing makes me laugh more than the story of Australia's first ever Winter Olympics gold medal. Oh, tell me about it. I don't know this story. I imagine Australia doesn't have a lot of winter sports. Which maybe they do. I mean, New Zealand's got a ton of snow. We actually have a decent amount of snow, but so out of the way. That's not as big as summer sports. Olympic sports here are expensive to get into. Like we have decent amount of snow in California, but you have to drive to it, and then you have to pay for all the passes and stuff. And it's not cheap. So what was the event that you guys got your first gold in? That's I think that's not what I want to do. Oh man, we make dumb mistakes consistently. But basically, the guy's name was Stephen Bradbury, and he was a professional speed skater. He's generally good, but obviously all the pros from other countries were better, like USA, Canada, Japan, all had speed skaters in 2002 who were legendarily good. Like all their pros already had like 2 to 4 gold to their names each. That's a lot of pressure. What do you think the odds are that video games will be added to the Olympics? It says before 2002 Winter Olympics, Bradbury had a pretty bad crash, but worked hard to get into shape, but managed to qualify for 2002 Salt Lake City. What happened at 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics was nothing short of a miracle. Like basically, so like basically, King Barrel in his heat, he was one spot away from making quarterfinals, but someone got DQ'd for pushing or shoving, I think. So he made it to the quarters. All right. Then in the quarters, 2 or 1 people crashed, letting him into the finals. Wow. Everything was going his way. And then in the finals, with all the pros, with all the gold medals, It says literally on the last lap, all four of them crashed, and he was so far behind he wasn't involved in the crash. He went past them and won. Well, that's cool, man. Hey, winning's winning. It's carrying Australia's first ever gold medals in the Winter Olympics. That's cool. That's a good story. Are they gonna make a movie of it? Seems like a movie worthy story. I'm gonna try not to fall into the same stupid pit. Give me this barrel. Man, I thought that was a. Oh, and fun fact: Australia is winning out of nowhere against all odds. It's called doing a Bradbury. That's good to know. I'm sure I will hear that at some point, and then I will get it. Doing a Bradbury. That's cool. Are they gonna make a movie about him, or have they made a movie about him? Like I said, that's one of the things I like about um, British and Australian movies is the slang. I feel like your guys' slang is more colorful than ours. Like it paints a better picture. I feel like our slang sucks in comparison. Oh, oh, there's a barrel. There's reason. Damn it. All right. Oh, and so I like watching. Do you ever watch Guy Ritchie movies? I love Guy Ritchie's movies. feel like some American slang holds up? Maybe. I get tired of all the I don't know. Like we don't use a lot of colorful sayings. Like I don't know, like one of my favorites for um it was from the movie Snatch is when the guy's upset and says, "Who took the jam out of your donut?" Like some slang words have just been added as normal words. Like cool is thankfully slang, but it's been used so much it's like a normal word now. You know the funniest part about American slang when you're growing up is you think you're saying something original, like in the U.S. Like you're like, oh, like this is the cool phrase, and we're the first ones until you get to Shakespeare. And when you get to Shakespeare and you get to some of the classics, you're like, oh man, like people have been talking like this forever. Like this is this is nothing new. This is just our, you know, copying something that's really old. There's a lot of like words like that where you thought like you were, edgy. The funniest one is like comedy. Is a lot of comedians that think that they're being edgy, and if you go back to like Shakespeare or older plays, there's a lot of crude things being said, but it's with nuance. So you can't point to it and be like, oh, that's crude. Hero says, I love etymology. Yeah, I do too. I love looking at the origins of words. I like looking at the origins of last names. If you ever get like in the names are fun. You'd be surprised about the origins of some words. Yeah. Well, we got this annoying thing, not to go back to the whole like, oh, woke bit, but they want to change the word cockpit for airplanes. They don't want pilots to talk about the cockpit anymore. Like, because this is, it's sexist, it's gender filled language. We don't want to call things cockpits. But if you go back, that's not like the cockpit comes from coxswain. Coxswain is not spelled COCK. It has nothing to do with anything crude, but people decided that cockpit is just, it's gender filled language, and it's not. It's got nothing to do with it, but you're not privy to what the origins of the word is. So you forgot that it has a better meaning, not you, Carol, but other people forgot what the real meaning of the word is. But my favorite is last names, where someone has a last name and they don't recognize or they don't know the origin of it. Like people that last name is Smith doesn't realize that that's their trade, or joiner. Joiner is another word for like carpentry, and people that name joiner are from they're carpenters, or cabinets. They did like cabinet work. But they don't know. They've forgotten where their name comes from. Those are always fun. And the fun part in the U.S. is people being oblivious to their names or their origins, but more also when they're oblivious to other people's like origin histories. A lot of last names are sort of just monikers to help people remember each other. That's why so many last names are just job titles or locations. Yeah, like Lancaster is a pretty popular British name. You meet a fair amount of Lancasters. All right, well, I got a bounce, King Barrel. Hope you have a good Monday, and hopefully you guys win some more golds. I wouldn't surprise if centuries from now we have people walking around with names like Alex Copper or Michael Chicago. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's gonna be all sorts of names, and especially as people change their names or play with them. it's it's gonna be some interesting ones. So I like watch the funniest side, like when it comes to naming kids, is you might think that you come up with an original name, and it's crazy like how many other kids have that same name. Like there's this weird statistic that on average, if you have 22 people in a room, just 22 people in the room, two of those people will share the same birthday. And it's like phone books. When you add someone in your phone contacts and you only have their first name. Yeah. So the girl you meet is just Sarah Club. Yeah, because you met them at the club. That's funny. Yeah. And hopefully you haven't given them some more embarrassing moniker and they don't see it someday and they're like, oh, that's like how you think of me. Um, but all right, man. Take it easy. Have a good day. And God bless you guys. Thank you so much.